He's been called the chairman of the board, the voice, and Old Blue Eyes. In the course of his remarkable career, he has mastered every facet of the entertainment industry and garnered its highest honors. He thrilled a nation's teens, becoming their first singing idol, and remains the focus of unparalleled press attention. Francis Albert Sinatra was born to Marty and Natalie Sinatra in Hoboken, New Jersey, on December 12, 1915. The birth was a difficult one and required the use of forceps, which left the boy with permanent facial scars. Throughout his adult career, Sinatra would ignore suggestions to have cosmetic surgery, feeling that his talent would be his primary asset. The young Sinatra got his first singing experience in high school, where he dreamed of following in the musical footsteps of his idol Bing Crosby. At age 17, he dropped out of school seeking his fortune, and after a brief stint as a copy boy at a local newspaper, the restless teen began to haunt amateur night contests at various vaudeville and movie houses throughout New York. He eventually got a singing spot on the popular radio program, The Major Bougas Show, and embarked on a nationwide tour with his troupe in 1937. By 1939, he was earning $25 a week as a nightclub singer and felt the time was right to marry his young sweetheart, Nancy Barbado. Frank's first big break would follow soon after, when prestigious bandleader Harry James hired the virtually unknown crooner at a $75 a week salary. The Sinatra magic was already taking hold on the female portion of his audience, who began to flock to the stage doors after each performance. In July of 1939, Sinatra cut his first records with Harry James, the most memorable being the dreamy ballad, All or Nothing at All. Sinatra's phenomenal effect on his female fans brought him to the attention of one of the all-time kings of swing, Tommy Dorsey. In January of 1940, Sinatra accepted the position of featured male vocalist with Dorsey's band and set into motion the wave of Sinatra mania that would grip the nation for years to come. Noticeable, too, was the improvement in the young crooner's singing technique as he began to emulate the uniquely smooth phrasing of Dorsey's trombone solos. In June of 1940, Sinatra had two occasions to celebrate: the birth of his first child, Nancy, and the Dorsey Band's netting a national weekly radio show. With a loyal fan following now numbering in the hundreds of thousands, Sinatra had soon outgrown even the popular Dorsey Band, and by the outbreak of World War II, was voted the best male vocalist of the year in a Metronome magazine poll. Upon attempting to join the wartime service, Sinatra was declared 4F due to a ruptured eardrum, but later proved invaluable, entertaining troops as a USO headliner. Soon Sinatra's face graced the covers of scores of songbooks and music magazines, and legions of bobby sockers were flocking to each personal appearance to swoon over his vocal stylings. Hollywood was quick to react to the excitement generated by this lanky but lovable balladeer, and by the mid-40s he had been featured in several light comedies like Higher and Higher and Step Lively. In January of 1944, one production was stalled when Sinatra fainted after receiving the news of Frank Jr.'s birth in a New Jersey hospital. In 1945, he starred opposite dancing great Gene Kelly in a delightful tale of two sailors on leave called Anchors Aweigh.
Makes the sun set, what makes the moon rise? Is it my love for you? And only be a melody, for I know no one but me.
3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
La 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 la.
La 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 la.
You see?
It's easy.
She begged me. True. She pleaded. Forgotten you? Oh, baby, with a picture of you I've got in my mind. Why, even over the phone I can see every...
In the mid-40s, Sinatra established many milestones of his early career. In the course of his USO tours, he would first engage in a playful battle of the crooners with his childhood idol, Bing Crosby.
Don't dance all night with me till the stars fade from above. They'll say it's all right with me. People will say we're in love.
The legendary live appearances at New York's Paramount Theater became the talk of the industry, as hordes of adoring female teens turned out to idolize the singing sensation they lovingly dubbed Frankie. So obsessive was the adulation by his legions of screaming fans that some community leaders expressed concern that the young star might actually be a menace to the nation's morals. Yet Sinatra's serious view of social issues was soon revealed in a short subject called The House I Live in which he makes a stirring plea for racial tolerance.
Somebody in for a licking?
You bet. Bring a smear.
Yeah, but 10 against 1. That's not very fair.
Ah, come on.
What's it all about?
None of your business.
Scared to tell me?
No, I'm not as scared. I'll fight you even.
And if I can help it, I just want to know why the gang war.
We don't like him. We don't want him in our neighborhood or going to our school. I've been living here as long as you.
What's he got, smallpox or something?
We don't like his religion.
His religion?
Look, mister, he's a dirt...
Now, hold on. I see what you mean. You must be a bunch of those Nazi werewolves I've been reading about.
Mister, are you screwy?
Not me. I'm an American.
Well, what do you think we are?
Nazis?
Don't call me a Nazi. My father's a sergeant in the army. He's been wounded even.
Wounded, huh? Say, I bet he got some of that blood plasma.
He was wounded so bad he had to get it 3 times.
Son, anybody in your family ever go to the blood bank?
Sure, my mother and my father both.
Uh-huh. You know what? I bet you maybe his pop's blood helped save your dad's life. That's bad.
What's bad about it?
Well, don't you see? Your father doesn't go to the same church as his father does. That's awful. Do you think maybe if your father knew about it in time, he would rather have died than to take blood from a man of another religion? Would you have wanted him to die? Would your mom want him to die?
No.
Look, fellas, religion makes no difference. Why, people all over the world worship God in many different ways. God created everybody. He didn't create one people better than another. Your blood's the same as mine. Mine's the same as his. Do you know what this wonderful country is made of? It's made up of 100 different kind of people, and 100 different ways of talking, and 100 different ways of going to church. But they're all American ways.
The House I Live In received a special Academy Award in 1945, and although Sinatra was proving himself to be an artist of considerable depth, studios continued to cash in on his monumental teen appeal. For his brief appearance in Till the Clouds Roll By, an all-star salute to songwriter Jerome Kern, Sinatra was presented in an almost deified fashion as a glossy and idyllic romantic image.
I'm tired of living, but I'm feared of dying, and old man River, he just keeps rolling
By the late 1940s, Sinatra's popularity had begun to transcend the legions of adoring schoolgirls which clustered to every performance. Yet studios continued to tailor his radio and film appearances to specifically please this enduring and loyal following. Sinatra soon grew restless as the light comedies in which he appeared became more and more teen-oriented.
The ice on the sidewalk. Brooklyn in the wintertime.
I can see a steeple surrounded by people. Oh, how real it all starts to seem. Just as the choir is singing, my alarm starts ringing. It's the same old dream.
You know, we gotta start rounding up a doll for you.
A doll?
A chick. Or as they was known in my youth, a sweet patootie.
Time after time, I tell myself that I'm so lucky to be loving you. So lucky to be the one you run to see in the evening when the day is through.
Please, Anne, don't go.
But, Danny, it's late. There are 25 school teachers living here, and you don't want them talking about my coming in after midnight, do you?
Oh, of course not.
Good night, Danny. It's been a wonderful evening.
Gee, I guess we're going steady now, huh, hey?
I believe in wishing well. And I also believe in a lot of things that Daisy tells.
I believe that your luck will show again if you manage to borrow a rabbit's foot or your pocket change.
How do you do? I'm terribly sorry. I don't know the horse very long, and I didn't mean to break the furniture. This is a very nice place we've got here.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That is the kissing bandit.
The kissing bandit?
Of course.
But if I steal your heart, dear, I'll keep it close to mine.
I like you. If you like me.
Don't scream.
I never scream. What are you doing here?
I've come to take you away with me, to carry you over the border or someplace where we can be together.
You mean you want to abduct me?
Yes, we've dilly-dallied long enough.
Well, I'm not even dressed. Look.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
I had no idea.
What's wrong with me? Why didn't he kiss me? He had the chance for a romance. What's wrong with me?
Why didn't I kiss her?
Fine bandit you are. Would Robin Hood have acted that way? Or Romeo?
After the weak and thoroughly exploitive Kissing Bandit, Sinatra would embark on a period of personal and professional decline. The birth of his third child, Christine, in 1948, would come at a time when his marriage to Nancy was beginning to crumble. In 1949, studio executives feared that Sinatra's power as a box office draw was waning, and once again teamed him with energetic song and dance man Gene Kelly in a pair of lively, fun-filled musicals.
Ball game, take me out with the crowd.
If the glow in her eyes and the light in her smile could charm a bird right off a tree, I'll be charmed as a bird, and I'll know in a word she's the right girl for me.
Oh, Miss Higgins. Oh, gee. You're the prettiest manager in baseball.
Oh, Eddie, you're certainly the prettiest shortstop.
It's fate, baby, it's fate. And it's knocking at our door. It's fate, baby, and that's the reason you're mine and I am yours.
Someone's on first and the game is in doubt. The guy up at bat hits a terrible cloud. The dust clears away and they're both of them out. O'Brien to Ryan to Goldberg.
Like a Saturday night on Main Street,
Like a Ford or a Chevrolet.
like potato chips or comic strips. It's strictly USA.
They're really here to stay. 'Cause it's strictly
One day, one night, that's the pity. We will look ahead. Hey, hum diddy, baby diddy, hum diddy, baby diddy, hum. It's a wonderful time.
During the 1940s, Frank Sinatra had experienced a meteoric rise to stardom and had become a top recording artist, a popular stage and radio star, a screen favorite, and a reliable fundraiser for many major charities. He was one of the most imitated, photographed, and talked about personalities in the entertainment world and seemed destined to become its reigning king. But by 1950, Sinatra's formula films and general overexposure caused audiences to grow less responsive. He had also suddenly become the object of scorn by many press reporters who resented the attempts by the brash young entertainer to guard his private life. Yet despite his professional setbacks on all the old familiar fronts, Sinatra managed to make a customarily smooth transition to the infant medium of television.
And I'm really glad that this chap finally decided to take the plunge, because he's a guy that promotes a lot of fun wherever he's around. He's a great boy. He's a boy that made popular song history. I'm thrilled to introduce Mr. Frank Sinatra right here. I'm gonna love you like nobody loves you, come rain or come shine.
Sinatra's impressive television debut prompted CBS to let him host a show of his own in the early 1950s. The leap to television would be a salvation of sorts, for by 1951, Sinatra was not only struggling with career matters, but with many personal blows as well. He had been released from his movie contract with MGM, divorced by his wife Nancy, and faced with steadily declining record sales. To make matters worse, his prolonged evenings of smoking and drinking were beginning to take a toll on his trademark velvety voice. Ironically, in his next film, Meet Danny Wilson, Sinatra portrayed a cocky, two-fisted nightclub singer. Although the film was only a modest success, Hollywood executives were impressed by Sinatra's fine natural handling of this purely dramatic role. Undoubtedly, the most significant event in this phase of Sinatra's life was his sudden marriage to up-and-coming screen goddess Ava Gardner on November 7, 1951. He soon accompanied his stunning young bride to Africa, where she was filming the jungle romance Mogambo opposite Clark Gable. One night while chatting with Gable, Sinatra spoke of an upcoming screen role that he desperately wanted to play. Gable suggested that upon his return to Hollywood, he approached the film's producers with a primarily humble demeanor. Eagerly following this advice, Sinatra netted the demanding role of Maggio in the landmark film From Here to Eternity. His powerful performance astonished both the film community and the public, and earned him an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in 1954. For Sinatra, it was a much-needed tonic, coming on the heels of a separation from wife Ava Gardner and the failure of his weekly television show, which had been a showcase for some of the brightest guest stars in the business. With the aid of a loan from the William Morris Agency and other shrewd financial maneuvers, Sinatra began to lay the groundwork for a long-awaited return to his former glory. Just as his acting style had matured, Sinatra's singing style was undergoing change as well. Punctuated by the bright, sassy arrangements of bandleader Nelson Riddle, the new Sinatra recordings displayed a confidence and energy that was undeniable, and sales began to boom. With Hollywood now offering an array of meaty dramatic parts, Sinatra would display remarkable versatility as an actor in roles that ranged from a cold-blooded assassin in Suddenly to a down-and-out drug addict in The Man with the Golden Arm.
All right, inside. We'll get a long time to wait. Relax. Move the kitchen table in front of the window. All right, sit down. Look at your TV. They ain't working. Well, what came over then? Fix them up. Don't sit there waiting to blow your cork. Keep yourselves occupied. I gotta think.
Todd, are you badly hurt?
Bullet hit the bone, broken, I guess. He's bled a lot.
We need a doctor. Look at his face.
Tell her, Pop. You're the doctor, Ellen. We can't have no doctor.
We can't set a broken arm.
Tough.
Can you?
Me?
Straighten this fracture.
You couldn't take it.
You straighten it.
Hold on, brave boy. Tie it up.
May we take him into the bedroom?
Sure. But the boy stays here. And leave the door open. All right, let's go to work.
You're a dirty, lousy gangster.
Leave him alone, Benny.
Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, I heard what he said. He's been looking at too much television. He ain't a bad squirt.
Just tell him to shut up.
Sure. This thing's metal.
Steel top, chrome legs.
I figured wood. No difference. Use the bracket, screw him to the leg and then to the floor. That way the table won't dance.
You're a coward. You're a bunch of cowards.
And you're getting too fresh. So button it.
Johnny, why all the trouble? Big deal. This is a lot of work.
Do it, Benny.
But, Johnny, I don't see
I
why
said
we...
just do it, Benny. Once you get the gun anchored, you got a solid base. You'll see when we get to it. This gun's got a heavy recoil and won't stand still. And we got just 3 seconds to nail the president. I'm betting 500.
I see.
Oh. Coming out. 3 trays. Kings. Jacks. 3 trays.
3 little trays, bet $500.
Take off your glasses. No, take them off. Second party. I didn't know. I'll get to you in a sec.
I didn't know this ever happened to me before. 11 years I've been running this game. Ask anybody. You don't dare for me no more. You want him?
I wouldn't dirty my hands.
How was I to know? You fellas know I've been running it out of this game. Tell him.
Frankie? Everything's all right now, Frankie. Hey. Frankie. What's a little cupping around, huh? Nothing. Am I right? You'll see. An hour from now, we'll be in antics, just laughing about it. You should have seen Sweetker's face when Williams said he'd get to him in a minute. He went white. It was so funny.
Cut it out, you hear?
You was the best sport I knew my whole life.
You hear me? Stay away from me, punk. Hurry, quick.
I want to get to sleep.
Please, quick. Beginning to wear off quick for you, ain't it?
You're graduating, student. You're going to have to step it up.
Anything, but please, hurry.
All right. Let's see your money.
Later.
Right now.
Trust me this once, will you?
You know I don't do that.
I'll pay you twice as much later, but I gotta do something right now.
Beat it.
I'll even push for you, Louis. Hurry.
A flippin' junkie always says that.
Please, Louis, please. Please, Louis.
Get your dirty hands off.
Let me out! Oh!
In a turnabout gesture from previous years, the critics now universally applauded Sinatra's film work. And with his latest records again riding high on the charts, it was inevitable that he would return to making film musicals. Several of those made in this mid to late 50s period would become his all-time best.
Sensational. That's all. From the equator up to the
Hello yourself, and greetings from your pal Joey. That's me. Of course, my name's Frank Sinatra. But in my latest picture, I play pal Joey. Or I'm your pal Joey. Now, before you see this unusual picture, I think there are a few things you should know about Joey. First of all, he lives in a world all his own. Joey even has his own language, made up purely of Joeyisms. Now, to start with, we'll take the word mouse. This is a mouse, a beautiful mouse called Kim Novak.
Each day is Valentine's Day.
Now that we've gotten this far, I suppose you think that the plural of mouse is mouses. It is mice, and here are some dandy examples. Wee, wow, wow, wee, wow, wow, wow. You ready to continue the lesson? A gasser. That's something that's, well, the very best. I'll give you an example. Yes, sir, that is a gasser in the form of Rita Hayworth, and some form that gasser has. Any questions? That's how Joey keeps loose and is always popping. You see, Joey has a good reason to be popping. Now, studying a case history of Joey, you must know his philosophy. You treat a dame like a lady, and treat a lady like a dame.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. She likes the theater, never comes late. She'd never bother with people she'd hate. That's why the lady is a tramp.
Did you get the message? Yeah, Joey's quite a guy. He's the brainchild of John O'Hara, and Rodgers and Hart put words and music to him for a Broadway hit musical. and wrote one of the greatest scores, plus a few added R&H starters. Listen.
I didn't know what time it was till I met you. There's a small hotel with a wishing well. If they ask me, I could write a book about the way you walk and whisper and look.
Bewitched, bothered, and bewildered am I.
That's why the lady, that's why the lady, that's why the lady is a tramp.
This is the master suite.
By the way, where is the master?
My husband died 2 years ago, and no cracks.
After all, 2 years is a long time between drinks.
I decided to take your offer.
What offer?
Strip. The peel. Take it off and let it lay. You were right. Providentially. I'm stacked.
So you see why Pal Joey is truly a picture of joy for me and for you, too. So long, friends. And don't forget Pal Joey. It's a real gasser.
After Pal Joey, Sinatra quickly became the public's idea of the quintessential self-assured, swinging American male, an image that endeared him to men and women alike. And lovers the world over almost exclusively relied on Frank's popular ballads to create a romantic mood. Among his peers, Sinatra had become a living legend, respected not only for his immense talent, but for his tireless dedication to humanitarian causes as well.
Hi. How's the battle going?
Not so good. I've seen you before. Are you a doctor?
Nope. My name's Frank. What's yours?
Arnold Gordon Nolte Jr. My folks don't call me Junior. They call me Gordy.
Okay, Gordy. Say, the doctors here at the hospital tell me you're a pretty good soldier yourself.
The Indians are going to wipe out the stagecoach this time. See?
Mm-hmm. Doesn't look very good, does it?
Mm-mm.
But I think I came just in time. Got some reinforcements.
Gee, thanks.
This is a battlefield, make-believe and real. The real battle is the one Gordy Nolte is fighting with tuberculosis. Gordy first contracted tuberculosis of the lungs, and then it spread to his spine and has now dissolved one of the vertebrae in his back and is attacking the others. Gordy will probably spend the next 3 years of his life in this TB hospital fighting tuberculosis. But TB is our fight, too. Every 5 minutes, another American breaks down with tuberculosis. It can happen to any of us, age, sex, rich or poor. It doesn't make any difference. But right now, each of us has the opportunity to join in the fight against TB through our purchase of Christmas seals. Our Christmas seal dollars are needed for chest x-rays, health education, rehabilitation, and for medical research. For Gordy and for thousands who are young and old, the fight against TB is face-to-face. But for us, it's a lot easier. Christmas seals on every card, Christmas seals on every package. And make sure you answer your Christmas seal letter today. It's important. And thanks from FS for CS, Frank Sinatra for Christmas seals.
In 1957, after years of estrangement, Sinatra's marriage to Ava Gardner would officially end. For the remainder of the decade, he immersed himself in a series of dramatic film roles.
In the beginning was the word, the saying goes. And no one's more conscious of the importance of words than the picture makers in Hollywood. It's been my very good fortune of recent years to appear in some motion pictures which began as words on a printed page. Exciting words, which made stories that had something important to say. For instance, this one started the dramatic ball rolling for me. As a book, it raised a lot of eyebrows, and as a picture, it did the same. Another book I'd crossed paths with on the screen was surrounded with controversy. This was quite a book and quite a picture. And now, once again, I've had the chance to help bring another great story to the screen. It's Joe David Brown's memorable novel, Kings Go Forth. It's a sensitive story about two soldiers, a girl, and a question. The kind of question that almost never gets talked about in films. Well, in Kings Go Forth, it's talked about, all right. As a matter of fact, it explodes in a burst of screen drama you'll think about for a long time to come.
The French Riviera during those hectic years was a place unlike any other, a far cry from the hell they had known. But the real hell was yet to come when they both fell in love with Monique.
But it is now time for a good night kiss.
Mm-hmm. But in America, some people just don't wait. They feel like kissing, they kiss. Kiss, kiss, kiss all the time. That's how I feel. With you. You touch her and I'll kill you. Tell her.
You really want me to, Lieutenant? Like you thought it over real hard.
Tell her!
Mon chéri. What is wrong?
I guess what Sam means is I'm not going to marry you, Monique.
Dramatic portrayal in Frank Sinatra's fabulous career. His best friend, Dean Martin.
He always wears hat in the presence of ladies.
All the time.
He even sleeps in his hat.
This is Ginny, who wanted his love regardless of consequences. A standout performance by Shirley MacLaine. Yes, everyone knew that Dave was back. The smug folks of the country club set, and the others on the wrong side of the tracks. Martha Hyer is Gwen, afraid to love him and too attracted by him not to. Boldly played by a cast as big as its story.
The unsung heroes of adventure in faraway places had one more name, Captain Tom Reynolds. Always a bomb, Tom Reynolds. A bomb who lighted his own fuse. He lived hard, he fought hard, and he fell hard.
I kissed you, lady, and you kissed me back.
You?
I got the message.
Never so few are the moments left for love to such as these two faithfully brought together in the unpredictable turmoil of an exotic land. There had always been more than one man in Carla's life, the ones that had her and the ones that wanted her.
Oh, come in and sit down.
They better stay in the jungle. It's a lot simpler there.
Many lives touched those of Carla and Tom. In Bill Ringer, Tom found a brother rebel.
Make it, bottle it, label it, sell it. I even drink it.
God, you've got guts.
All that bothered Danny was the jungle heat steaming up his moniker. He and Tom fought side by side just to stay alive long enough to get back to the bright lights and the women. They called Nico Regas an international mystery man. The mystery was, what was his hold on Carla?
But I must tell you something rather disagreeable about myself. I'm a bad loser.
You once told me I had a lot of boyish notions about love and that you knew love's realities.
Now I know what kind of man you are. So brave in battle, but so afraid of life. You talk of the future, but you won't take a chance on it.
The fervid and tantalizing story of a love that could not be, and yet could not be denied. Never so few is vivid human drama boldly set against the exotic lands of India and Burma.
As the 1960s approached, many veteran recording artists suddenly found themselves unable to compete with a growing youth-oriented phenomenon called rock and roll. The music market began to divide itself into two distinct camps, one for adults and one for teens. Now more than ever, Sinatra represented a vital alternative for mature listeners, a status which led to his becoming a top Las Vegas headliner. On frequent occasions, fellow Rat Pack members Sammy Davis Jr., Joey Bishop, Peter Lawford, and Dean Martin would join their chairman on stage and delight crowds with thoroughly uninhibited antics. The highly infectious fun generated by these multi-talented stars would result in a series of lighthearted film comedies, such as Ocean's 11, Robin and the Seven Hoods, and Sergeant's 3. In Robin and the Seven Hoods, Sinatra would introduce the song My Kind of Town, which would become one of his most popular signature tunes. In fact, over the years, Sinatra had proven himself unique in his ability to continually introduce chart-topping tunes in his motion pictures. But of all his stellar achievements, Sinatra appeared most proud of his presidential campaign efforts for the charismatic Senator John F. Kennedy.
Come on and vote for Kennedy, and we'll come out on top.
Upon winning the 1960 election, Kennedy asked Sinatra to produce his pre-inaugural gala. In spite of a raging snowstorm, major entertainers came from every corner of the nation to pay tribute to the new president, and made the event one of the most memorable in the capital's history. Taking up the president's inaugural challenge to ask what you can do for your country, Sinatra undertook more charity work than ever before.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Frank Sinatra.
Hi there. Come on in and preview these pictures with me. They were made at our Will Rogers Hospital. You'll be especially interested in the medical research going on there because the research means so much to you. Our scientists are working day and night in the O'Donnell Memorial Research Laboratories, right under the same roof with the hospital at Will Rogers, right there with the doctors and nurses and patients, right where the treatment is going on. All this research is for your benefit. It's specialized research of the serious diseases that attack the human chest. Emphysema, lung cancer, tuberculosis, chronic heart disease, and all the other lung and chest ills that challenge man's right to live and breathe. These are the people who own Will Rogers, the people who are doing so much for you and your loved ones. They are the workers in radio, television, motion picture, stage, nightclubs, and so on. The treatment stage of Will Rogers Hospital is for our industry's own. We support that ourselves. But there's no way of telling how many thousands of people outside our industry have been helped and healed because we share our research findings with the world's medical profession. Will Rogers scientists working in Will Rogers laboratories have developed an anti-tuberculosis vaccine, which is now being used in epidemic areas of the world. And that's not all that's done for everyone. Now there's a medical teaching and training institute at Will Rogers. It began 3 years ago and has been growing ever since. Recommended medical students come here from their colleges for summer seminars and laboratory training in lung diseases. They get academic credits for their work at Will Rogers. The value to the public health of the research and teaching work of Will Rogers can never be overestimated. We in the industry have been putting in our own money and work for more than 35 years. But we need your help now in the bigger load in the research and teaching we do for the public health. You will help, won't you? Please be generous when the volunteers pass the collection containers. And thank you very much.
In December of 1963, the very private Frank Sinatra would find himself besieged by reporters at the news of his son's kidnapping. Frank Jr. was breaking in a singing act at a popular Lake Tahoe casino when he was abducted and held for ransom. Although Frank Sr. paid $240,000 for the boy's safe return, His abductors were soon captured and convicted for their crime. Yet another of Sinatra's brood would cause a sizable sensation in the entertainment world. Daughter Nancy would become a major recording artist and sex symbol of the mid to late 1960s. She was best known for her pop solo, These Boots Are Made for Walking, and the duet she performed with Father Frank called Something Stupid. To make the most of her sexy image, Nancy also took on occasional film work.
The Wild Angels, starring Peter Fonda and Nancy Sinatra. In the Angel Gang, if you're one man's woman, you're his old lady.
Well, because the way I used to be and all, you know, I just figured that you thought I...
You talk too much.
One of the most haunting events in the life of Frank Sinatra was his involvement in a film project which virtually foretold the assassination of his good friend President John F. Kennedy in 1963. The previous year, Sinatra had appeared in a compelling psychological drama entitled The Manchurian Candidate, which featured a detailed account of an attempt to assassinate the president. Unlike the 1954 film Suddenly, in which Sinatra took on the role of Triggerman, here he would appear as an army officer trying desperately to thwart the attempt. Although the film was hailed as a masterpiece of suspense, a grieving Sinatra would play a role in suppressing the film's distribution for over 20 years. Throughout the early to mid-1960s, Sinatra appeared in a variety of physically demanding roles, from splashy musicals to exciting adventure films. Critics marveled at Sinatra's stamina, as well as his superb performance in the action-packed World War II drama Von Ryan's Express. In 1967, the 52-year-old Sinatra would discover a cinematic niche for which he was perfectly suited. A succession of hard-boiled detective roles proved far less physically taxing and allowed him to fully explore the more subtle elements of the acting craft. It was during this phase of his career that Sinatra entered into a stormy 2-year marriage to actress Mia Farrow, which ended in 1968. Sinatra would next wed the lovely Barbara Marx in 1976. She would prove a perfect companion to the mellowing 60-year-old entertainment giant and provided invaluable support when he lost his 82-year-old mother, Dolly, in a plane crash the following year. Sinatra forged into the 1980s and 90s with all the same command that characterized his youth. In his remarkable career, he has received virtually every honor this life can bestow. He has withstood decades of unfounded rumors and intrusions into his private life, and he has conquered every medium in the entertainment spectrum. These are the many achievements, the many gifts, the many faces of Frank Sinatra.